I'm Josh.
And I'm Sarah. And we were due to be leaving on a big international trip riding east, but unfortunately there have been a few bumps in the road that have put that trip on hold for the meanwhile.
Yeah, but we're trying to make the best of the situation, and so instead of that, we have gone on a 350k off-road route, but just a little bit closer to home, and that is the King Alfred's Way. A relatively new trail in the south of England, linking mind-boggling ancient history with some of the UK's best off-road trails. The circular route links the Thames Path, the Ridgeway, South Downs Way and the North Downs Way, looping around ancient Wessex, the Anglo-Saxon kingdom of Alfred the Great. 350 kilometres of sublime gravel, single track and bridleways that take you through 10,000 years of history to Stonehenge, Avebury, ancient hill forts and monolithic marvels. Having a big trip put on hold really does suck, especially one that you've been preparing for such a long time for. But being out riding just a little bit closer to home, with beautiful weather, I guess is the next best thing. We got a train to Farnham, the closest part of the trail to us, and had no real plan, no time limit, and no expectations really. Just 350 kilometres of off-road riding.
It's day one of, we're not sure, maybe up to about a week, and love that this is a 350 kilometre route and it's almost all off road, and if it is on roads it's on.
Come. I'm glad you found that funny because you weren't pulling over.
Well, quietish road.
This bit is just so nice at this time of day with the light just coming out between the trees. It's beautiful.
It's about 7:30. We picked up some water for the night, so now we are free to find a spot to camp.
The camp spot finding mission is not going very well. It's not like densely populated, but like there's just houses dotted around everywhere, and everything surrounding them is its land. We have found a little track off the road, hoping to find somewhere.
With all the issues with waiting around for doctors and finding these blood test results, it's really nice just to be able to, even though it's not the trip we were expecting, to be able to get on our bikes. And we just got 7 days. We don't know too much about the King Alfred Way. I didn't do any research at all, just downloaded the GPX file, and we've got...
It's quite nice it all being mystery, so we can just sort of discover where we go.
Yeah, no time limit. We think it will. We reckon we'll be back within a week, but we don't have to be if we don't want to be.
How nice we find it.
Yeah, and I think just after everything's up in the air, it's quite nice just to have it all really relaxed, chilled out, sitting in front of sunsets like this.
I thought that might be.
Ooh, baby.
For many trips, there has been one item, a luxury item, which I've been wanting to bring, and I keep kind of forgetting, half being like, oh well, maybe I shouldn't really just bring it anyway, and brought it. Drum roll. Some binoculars. So now I can be a proper birder and admit I've already turned middle-aged.
So I don't know if you can read it. Cyclists proceed with caution. It's very steep. You got it. This is where the trolls shine. And this is why we got big, thick wheels.
Move the bushes out the way. Oh yeah. Bike stand, 5 pit.
Should we just stay here?
Best kind of bath ever. The only bath I'll have. There's something about outdoor swimming which is just so peaceful and relaxing.
And so refreshing, especially on a hot day.
Yeah, just listening to like the water lapping,
Saying hi to the boats.
breeze coming through the trees. So nice.
There's loads of dragonflies around as well.
That shagging. Shagging dragon.
If you're sort of still by the lily pad, you can sort of see them all. It's really nice.
Like, well, there's already a little fire pit behind us.
Mm.
We could camp for the night here. Have we got food?
Yeah.
Yeah? Have we got water? Oh, we're surrounded by water.
Yeah. Did you bring the water filter?
Yeah.
There you go. Post swim, feeling really refreshed, and now back on the bikes.
Coming up away from the Thames, it wasn't long before we joined the Ridgeway, a remote 87-mile long off-road chalk track, known as Britain's oldest road and steeped in more than 5,000 years of history.
Going up and up. Oh, the freshness that I felt from that swim has just melted away as I'm now dripping with sweat in this heat. I get a lot more dirty on these trips, I think, because I just eat days now for like the whole of the day. Gone blind.
The suntan lotion.
Suntan lotion's gone in his eye.
My eyeballs, I can't see a thing. And there's so many people on the road being obstacles.
Yeah.
Not very good timing.
Turns out it coincided with a 100k ultra race, with runners and walkers going through the night in the baking heat.
We're in the middle of nowhere, but there's this Ridgeway's ultra race, and they've said that we can fill up our water here, so we're part of the ultra people.
Oh. Everyone run over to that lady and give her a kiss.
Oh, they've got a bar!
Welcome to Base Camp! Well, this way, straight on! Yeah, well, hot foods and shades up there, carrying on's down there.
It would have been really easy just to sit back, sip cool beers and eat ice lollies, but we dragged ourselves back into the heat and onto the trail. Eventually the race faded into the background and we cycled into the Vale of the White Horse. Empty landscapes ahead, history all around us, stumbling across a Bronze Age Uffington White Horse and then onto Neolithic tombs.
Wayland's smithy long barrow was used for burials over 5,500 years ago in the Neolithic period. Both tombs served as the focus for ceremonies linking the living and the dead, and many have also marked the community's ownership of the surrounding land. This is crazy to think that. So this was built over 5,500 years ago, and 15 people were buried in here, like 15 in this huge area, and they'd have no idea sort of if they were wealthy or not. I mean, I guess I think they must have been to have this huge area just for them, but because the whole thing had been ransacked, like they had no idea. Because everything had been stolen, they had no idea if they were like expensive belongings with them.
Right.
5,500 years ago.
Our time on the Ridgeway was coming to an end. Up and out of the way, no navigating, just continuous off-road trails, sunshine and rolling views. It was a really beautiful experience. Water was pretty hard to come by, so when we found a good opportunity, we made the most of it.
We have found water, unlimited supply. Oh, we've also not had a shower, so I kind of want to have a little baby shower too. This route is so dusty, like everything's just covered in dust. So this feels so good. I only wash has been in the Thames, and even after that, I mean, outdoor washing, unless it's like pristine water, you never feel that clean.
So much better. Now we have everything we need, and we just look for a camping spot.
Then we came to our final pitch of this section of the trail, and it was just one of those wild camps you'll never forget.
Come to the end of the day. I'm pooped. Sarah, you pooped? Sarah's not as pooped, so she's leading us. And this little bit of woodland, we're hoping, is going to be our refuge for the evening.
I'm on foot patrol, just sort of scoping out a good place. It's in the trees, sort of a bit sheltered, and then the sun will set over here, so it will have a nice view, and it will rise over here, so then we'll be a bit sheltered by the trees come morning.
Ready?
Yeah.
Number 2, Big Trudy.
Am I going to be able to receive her?
Yes, I think so. Holy shit.
Give me a...
So many ready-made twigs for the fire. It's evenings like this which just make touring and just generally like the outdoors, spending time outside, just so incredible. I think particularly on these long tours, what you know, any like multi-day things, there's lots of points where it's like it's not all like beautiful feelings. Sometimes it's really hard, sometimes things go wrong, like sometimes the weather's naff, sometimes you're knackered, and sometimes you're just not in the mood for all the hardships of it. But then it's moments like this where it just makes it all seem completely insignificant, and that like every ounce of it
just melts into the back.
Yeah, every ounce of it was worthwhile.
The King Alfred's Way just kept on throwing us surprises. Ancient wonders, wildfires and live firing ranges. Be sure to stay tuned for part 2, which will be coming out in the next few weeks.